Carly, excited for today's episode. It's a bit of a special episode. We're going to get to have a conversation. I have some questions for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. There's not going to be a mystery question, though,
Oh, bummer.
because I feel like we need to save that for when we have guests.
Okay.
Or I'll think of one maybe throughout. And there will be a
Maybe.
mystery
Surprise. Yeah.
A surprise question.
Yeah.
Surprise mystery. It'll be good. Well, the first place I want to start, I want to dive in here. There's a tension that I feel like a lot of the nonprofit leaders, fundraisers listening to this probably recognize are living in. Things have changed rapidly. There's big need to continue to change and evolve and grow and be on top of fundraising strategy, not to mention how do you engage people personally, cut through the noise, all of that. But there's also the tyranny of the urgent. There's a lot to do today, right now. Lots to do, little time to do it. So I'm curious for you, did you experience that when you were in the fundraising seat?
Yeah, totally. I mean, your most urgent task is to hit your fundraising budget numbers. And so often it's hard to think about what's happening in the future. What innovations are happening that I need to pay attention to? How has technology changed? Because it's all about what dollars you have to bring in right now to hit that budget. You're looking at it every day, or you should be. And, just thinking about how to manage your current program. So it is very difficult to be thinking about what you should be changing in the future.
Yeah. What were some of the ways you stayed on that, or maybe ways that you kind of invested in that?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm a big podcast listener, like I read a lot. So I just stayed reading things in the industry, like that people would put out, whether they were like benchmark reports or webinars or podcasts or whatever. I went to lots of conferences where there was thought leadership happening about, the latest trends and things. And I would always try to take away like maybe one or two things that I could implement. Not because sometimes you can come back from a conference, you probably know this, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have 50 things I need to do.
We're changing everything.
Yes. So I'd try to take away just like one or two things and try to implement it. I would take notes and then I'd kind of bold like the top things and then be like, okay, let's try these and see how they do. So at least it was like, we're trying something while we're still running our current program.
Yeah. What I just thought of would be an interesting conversation that we can maybe have. We could do another one of these is like, how do you get the most out of a conference? Or how do you, I feel like that's, if you're investing the time, the energy to be there, there's sort of like, how do you walk away to where you see the investment, but also you're not overwhelmed? Maybe we'll start a side podcast on that.
Yeah.
Probably
and
not a whole podcast.
Make sure you find all the free food and get all the swag from the vendors. That was my best conference.
Oh yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Also, pro tip, if you need souvenirs from the trip, the conference swag does great, especially for those ages like 8 and below.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty impressed with like a stress ball and a free pen. So that was my move, at least for my kids. But,
yeah.
Well, I know that we have an event coming up that we're super excited about, and one that is designed to pour into fundraisers, nonprofit leaders. We have the Responsive Nonprofit Summit coming up June 4th and 5th. Super special event in that it strikes that balance between being accessible. So it's a virtual event and it's a few hours each day, so you don't have to clear your entire calendar. So for a lot of people, we're hopeful that it means you can be there. But it's super, super powerful. We have some of the sharpest folks in fundraising in the nonprofit world who will be there speaking. So Carly, if somebody listening to this is looking for one of those resources, looking for ways to kind of invest, wondering why does this matter? Why should I be there? What would you say to them?
Well, the first thing I would say is if you love me and Scott, we're co-hosting.
The cat's out of the bag. Actually, this is the global announcement of the co-hosts. I know that a lot of people were waiting for it. Yes, it's true. We will be. It's like when they announced the Golden Globe. Is it Golden Globes? Yeah. It's always like a big thing when they announce award show who's hosting, right?
Yes.
Everyone's like, that's gonna be pretty entertaining. So
yeah. Scott will be co-hosting. That will be the entertaining part. I will talk about fundraising.
You'll be co-hosting too. It's like it's the Responsive Lab live.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that's definitely important if you're a listener. But Like I was talking about before, like our world is evolving, and sometimes in the nonprofit space, we're like, yeah, the world's evolving. I got so much to do. But actually our donors are evolving also, just like we are, and their behaviors are evolving. Like you have to at least stay in the know of what's happening, what trends are being seen, maybe why your certain direct channel is down or up, and what you can do about it just based on what other nonprofits are seeing. Like it's so helpful to be able to see that so that you're paying attention to what's happening now, but also continuing to look for the future. Because if you're not thinking about that long-term plan and you're getting too distracted by what's happening right now, that's going to be a problem when that time comes.
Yeah. Listen, I went and actually found a couple quotes from folks who attended last year. So this is not our first year doing this. So we had our RNS, that's the short term, the Responsive Nonprofit Summit last year. Found a few quotes. I love these. It said this. One quote said, "Wonderful presenters, engaging topics, and a ton of seminars, sessions to choose from. I want to run around my city, tell everyone about my org. Now I'm fired up." I love that. Another person said, "A chance for valuable continuing education, such a meeting of the nonprofit minds, and for free in all caps, question mark." Okay, I feel like that's important for our listeners to understand. It adds a little bit dynamic. Count me in every time. Another person said, "I'm so energized, inspired, even more looking forward to making a difference in my community." And that's what I love too about this is that, yes, there's like the tactical, here's some really practical things that you can do, put into practice that you're going to see help move the needle. And also you're going to walk away saying, like, hopefully with a reminder, this is why I do what I do. Like this is the impact that's being made. There's something too about being in a community of people, even virtually, where you walk away just going like, that's right. Like I need that sort of encouragement, that refresher. So I'm curious for you, Carly, thinking back to last year, what are some of the highlights that come to mind?
I can think of a couple of different specific presentations where people just unpacked like fundraising buzzwords that we throw around, like digital marketing and automation, and how to practically apply those and break those down. Actually, some people we've even had on this podcast, but it was just so tactical and in a way that was so relatable that I was like, oh, this I can take something away from this and apply it. I also think, and you just touched on this, but sometimes it can be very discouraging, whether you're in the nonprofit space or any other space, whether it's things going on in your personal life, your professional life, what's going around in your specific missional area, or what's happening in society that's impacting your work. This is a chance for all nonprofiters to come together, to be encouraged by thought leaders, to see positive things that are happening, figure out how to overcome challenges, just feel like you're part of something bigger. And even though it's virtual, like you're still interacting with people in the chat. So you can be like, oh, hey, I really enjoyed talking to so-and-so from whatever organization on the other side of the country. Like I'm going to add them on LinkedIn and maybe I'll reach out to talk more about major donors. Like that community exists there too.
I've actually found it's easier at times to connect like that with people and have ongoing connections through a virtual conference, because like you are able to, like you said, connect on LinkedIn or grab an email or even, send a message and kind of start that connection process. And so, it's a huge opportunity for that. So for anyone listening to this and they're like, okay, I'm interested, what can they expect in terms of what they'll walk away with from the Responsive Nonprofit Summit this year?
Yeah, well, one of the things I'm most excited about is that RNS will be where we release the 2025 benchmark report. So it will be all of the updates on benchmarks and trends across all of our nonprofits that Virtuous serves, which as a fundraiser, that was something I always looked forward to. I know that sounds so nerdy, but I always wanted to be like, where are we against the benchmarks and what should we be doing differently? Like it was just the starting point.
Yeah.
But from that's actually like the opening. This is an insider tip, the opening session. So from that,
folks,
you'll be able to be like, okay, I want to focus on this metric and see how I can improve it. And then there will be a session throughout the 2 days to figure out how to improve that specific metric. So you'll be able to have tactical steps and practical ways to implement these fundraising tactics. Tons of thought leadership. Like if you go on the website, you can see all the speakers. And also there's some hands-on workshops we haven't done before where you should walk away with an actual plan, whether that's like a new donor welcome series or a donor stewardship plan that you can walk away with and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do, which, by the way, that would be a pro tip if you're trying to sell this to your boss or someone like, hey, can I take half a day to go do this? Just tell them like, hey, I'm going to come back with this complete plan in this area that we really need help.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. Again, June 4th and 5th, it's coming up here, and I don't think we've said this yet, which probably not a great idea. 10 minutes and 48 seconds into the podcast but it's free, and so we just want you there. We want this to be a resource. It's something that we want to be able to give to people, and for you to be able to come and take advantage of this. Sometimes you hear free and that's like, oh, does that mean it's like kind of not as great quality? Like, no, it costs. Don't make no mistake. It costs us, but we're willing to do that because of the way that it serves so many fundraisers and leaders and people where it can be a huge help. And so it's free to attend. There are 2 workshops that you can add on that are you can add one of the 2 on that are paid, but pretty much everything else is free for you. So we would love to see you there. We'd love to be a part, to see you in the chat. And you get to hear Carly and I, if that's something that's interesting, for a couple days, as well as, I think it's 30 plus speakers.
Yeah.
We have 25 sessions, super practical. Again, the benchmark report, it's going to be awesome. So there's a link in the show notes here. You can use that to register. We would recommend you getting signed up, share it with a friend as well. Everyone loves going to a conference with a friend. So go ahead, register, share it with somebody. What is a final word you'd like to share about RNS coming up, Carly?
I would just say that times like this are the most valuable for you as a fundraiser, even if you feel super overwhelmed, to be able to say, hey, I'm going to take a minute to invest in my own education and invest in myself and feel encouraged and learn something will totally change your week or your month.
That is very well said. And I feel like that's a great note to end on. So click the link. Join us at the Responsive Nonprofit Summit. We want you there. We're excited to see you there, and we're grateful to be with you today.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of The Responsive Lab. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us continue to bring you the best content, and we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment and join the discussion. We love talking all things generosity and technology, and this podcast is fueled by Virtuous, the responsive fundraising platform that works for you. Virtuous is a great example of using technology to scale your fundraising and personal relationships with your donors. To learn more, visit virtuous.org/learn more. Until next time, keep experimenting, keep innovating, and most importantly, keep making a difference. We'll see you back in the lab soon.